Welcome back to Racing with Jesse Rosinski. Happy Friday, and might as well jump again really quick into it and see how Walter felt about everything last weekend. Which I thought there was good racing last weekend. I mean, except for the F1 race, I thought that was kind of boring.
You want to go through the list?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can go through your. I'm sure you have a bigger
All
list
right.
than I wrote down.
So, as I'm going through, if I miss anything, hop in. So first off, we had Supermoto at Road Atlanta in Georgia, aka the Moto America Series. Sorry, I got corrected the other day. Somebody got butthurt. Anyways, race one, top three was Danilo Petrucci. Two was Matthew Schultz. Three was Jake Lewis. Race two was Jake Coggan. Cameron Peterson was second. Third was Kyle Wyman. I just want you to know the top three from race one did not finish in race two. All three got DNFs. Just wanted to put that out there. No upcoming race for Supermoto. We had more after that for a couple weeks. We had some American flat track racing at I-70 Motorsports Park.
Beautiful facility.
First place was Jared Meese. I mispronounced that. Second was Briar Bauman. Third was Brandon Robinson. No upcoming race there. Decent race. I liked it. This weekend we have Denver for Supercross. I'm excited for that. For the 250 series, we got Christian Craig at 194 points, Hunter Lawrence with 171, Michael Mosman at 158. I just want to put it out there for everybody. There's only 2 races of season left. Just put it out there.
Christian Craig only has 23-point lead.
Yep.
That one could get made very interesting. Will it? We don't know, but again, there was a good racing last weekend with them. 250 East, Hunter's little brother Jet finally locked up the championship. What do you know? He didn't wreck in turn one twice on the same day, and he locked it up. Granted, BJ Hampshire went down. If he didn't go down, I still think he would have lost the title last weekend. Jet was just too far ahead, but that was a good race. So, and Eli didn't lock up the championship, but I think he's up by 43 points. So I don't think there's anything that anyone can do. I mean, it's going to take complete and utter cataclysm for him to not walk. I mean, he has to lose 19 points. Like
finishes without wrecking in the next 2 races. He doesn't have to get a top 5, just get a top 8. In the next 2 races, you will pretty much
43 points. All he has to do is walk out of there with what? He can't lose.
Well, I think what's the max you can get in the race?
15, 16. He can't lose more than like 17 points. And bad he has to do that. All he has to do is pretty much do what he's been doing.
As long as he finishes without wrecking, even if he should be good. But
even if he wrecks,
the 450 points, top 3, Eli Tomac at 341. In the second place was Jason Anderson. Almost said Jordan Anderson.
Don't worry.
At 298.
He just married Larry Mack's daughter, Jordan Anderson. Yeah. Congratulations. Happy couple.
Third place was Justin Barsa with 275 points. I just want to throw out a shout out to Malcolm Stewart in 4th place points.
Only down by 3 points. That's going to be the race right there. First and second, sorry, that's pretty much, a done deal between third and 4th place. Whoever gets, that one, that's 3-point difference. That'll be the race. And to think the races that, Malcolm would, and where Jason and Malcolm would be if they didn't, if Jason didn't run into him.
This will be a good race this weekend.
2 or 3 straight races.
But the next race, which is the last race, will be that race is always the most fun, most interesting for Supercross.
Oh yeah, so but third and fourth, that's the race for it. Tomac's gonna
Pontiac
win.
used to be good before they closed it. That was a really good Supercross race there.
Oh yeah,
Everybody
I mean,
competitive.
it's what they do though, man. It's what they do. And everything is nice. They must kill it.
Yep.
Granted, Pontiac was, yeah.
Well, problem is the people that owned it didn't
It's just
functional upgrades like power, plumbing, that kind of stuff. It needed upgrades. I'm not going to deny that. I mean, it needed building upgrades itself.
It was too big.
Yeah, just plain stuff, and they just got stupid
It was
about it.
It was too big. Like they shot themselves in the foot. The amount of people they could fit.
Well, they started pulling
inside that
everything
thing.
out of
I'm saying, but
the moment you start pulling everything out of a venue, what do you think's going to happen?
yeah, but
Oh, wait a minute. They also should have not maybe charged so much for people that have an event there. Because, like, why do you think the Pistons left?
All I'm gonna say is they shot themselves in the foot by building it that big.
Well, I don't know if I can say that because there's certain races that happen there, not necessarily even Supercross.
Yeah, but just the amount of people, the amount of people they could fit in there, and then it had its boom where they were doing all kinds of stuff there, and then well, as the world turned, no chance in hell that the events that they wanted to go there were going to be able to come even close to filling that gigantic building. So when the bubble burst, there was the bubble burst. I mean, just to run the thing, I mean, facilities wise, for it to be that big, that killed them. It was, I mean, look at WrestleMania when they held that there was what 90-some thousand people inside the Pontiac Silverdome, brother. And like how many people they fit in there? Like 90-some thousand. Like they built that thing huge, and then the bubble burst. Don't worry, look at NASCAR tracks. Look how many grandstands and everything they built around most of those tracks in the 90s during the bubble.
Look how many more years, what would have started happening that would have saved the Silverdome?
Nothing would have saved
it. They'd have waited 3 more years.
Nothing would have happened.
Yeah. Faster horses came to Michigan.
Yeah, but
they could have secured that a lot better than they can secure what they have right now. The only difference is camping.
Yeah, see,
that's the only thing MIS had over Pontiac.
I'm putting them in like in the bubble. I mean, that's what I say was just an unsustainable bubble, and it was old, and it cost less to build a new one than to maintain something that big. And again, NASCAR had the convenience when they hit their bubble. The bubble burst, and they just tore down a bunch of grandstands that they built because so many people could fit in there. Like when your building's that big, I mean, especially with the economy in Michigan, like faster horses would have been good, but
that was after. You have to take into consideration what had to happen before faster horses. And that's why I was saying they would have had to held out and struggled for 3 more years. But had they done that, they had the potential to hold certain venues there that couldn't be held over. And also on top of that, since they bubbled and closed, people like Luke Combs has come into the picture. Garth Brooks is playing again. People like that can easily fill. George Strait could easily fill the Pontiac Silverdome if it was still existing.
Oh, yeah.
So there's not just that. Metallica, the Big Four could have came there. I mean, a lot that could have went into that.
So you're just looking at nostalgia. I'm looking at the fact it was so big and it costs less money to build a new building than to keep that thing maintained.
That easily could have filled it, and they just
promoters
stopped.
Yeah, but 2 or 3 a year, that's not going to save something that big.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That's where promoters and shit come in. They have to really do their job, or they ain't gonna do good.
I know, but again, it was like the Nassau.
Time, what else is going on in the world?
It was like the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island. Look how, I mean, that building was literally raining on people because it was so falling apart and dilapidated. And instead of doing anything to try to fix it, or they just moved them. It's just the way it is. Politics kill everything. And in Pontiac's case, Michigan's bubble burst.
Michigan's bubble burst. Once started, but that's a conversation for another place.
Well, I know, but you just keep. I'm just.
Well, I was.
There was no saving it.
Where were we at? Supercross. NHRA. We have coming up wait a minute. Back up. Last weekend.
No, Spring Nationals. Last time in Houston, I believe it was.
Yes.
So I did see the beginning of it, half of it.
For the ease of our viewers and listeners' ears.
And I saw Brittany Force, and I said, "Thank God she doesn't look like her dad."
I'm gonna start with the lower and then go to the highest. So, Sportsman Junior, Slate Rabina. He also Slate took Advanced Junior. Oh, shocking. No box was Jay Robinson. Super Pro was Chris Gillette. Top dragster was Mark Jones. Top sportsman was Chris Arnold. Super Street was Chris LeBlanc. Super Gas was Keith Purvis. Super Comp was Michael Holcomb. Stock Eliminator was Jerry Emmons. I was happy about that one. Super Stock was Harvey Emmons. Competition Eliminator was Greg Camplane. Top Alcohol Funny Car was Doug Gordon. Top Alcohol Dragster was Joey Severance. Top Pro Stock was Erica Enders. Funny Car was Matt Hagan. And rounding out the top at Top Fuel, Brittany Force. Overall winners.
Oh, Brittany Force. Doing her dad proud.
Like we said, this weekend, they'll be in Concord, North Carolina, May 1st. Sorry, I was reading two different things at once. Put it all together. I didn't write down time. I believe it was 1 o'clock.
At the 4 lane.
Yep.
Beautiful facility. I've walked by it repeatedly.
I've
walked by it ad nauseum.
I didn't think to even look at how much tickets were.
I've walked by it ad nauseum to the 4 lane drag strip going, well, she's pretty, eh? And then I continued towards the racetrack and the dirt track, which is also down on the corner. I mean, like everything's right there. Beautiful facility. Whoever designed that one and put that together, good job. Because
whoever designed 4 lane drag strips, period, deserves severe accommodation in that aspect.
I meant like just in that. Yes, I'll give you that. Whoever put that whole entire facility in Concord,
safely, which is what blows my mind. 4 lanes. That's sorry.
They got that going good. The facility down there in Concord is beautiful. Never been. Please go. Everything's right there. You could see a drag strip, a dirt race, and the Coke 600 all right there. Inside like a stone's throw, a literal stone's throw. They are on top of one another. The campground's right across the street. Hendrick Motorsports right on the other side of that campground. In case you've never been there, good times. I look forward to it though, really, in the 4 lane, just because the facility and just, again, how they managed, whoever came up with that, and they do it safely. I mean, look how bad things can go with a regular drag strip. You add an extra 2 lanes to it, and somehow, like, so good on them.
I shocked them number-wise. Sorry, number-wise, it looks safer.
It's just terrifying in and of itself, but that should be a good weekend. IndyCar's back with the Grand Prix of Alabama at Barber Motorsports Park. I like Barber. Beautiful track down there. Last year, the results really shouldn't shock anyone. I mean, Alex Palou was first, Will Power was second, Scott Dixon was third, Pato O'Ward was fourth. Which should surprise no one. I expect those names are going to be up there again. Jimmy was 19th, Colton Hurd was 22nd, and Joseph Newgarden, who I think is going to do way better this time around unless something stupid happens, finished 23rd last year just with the role he's on. I'm pretty sure he's going to do way, 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 way better than that.
I feel that would be a very safe assumption.
That's my safe bet. That's the safe bet for you people.
You know what? I lied. I think the NHRA race is actually on earlier than 1. The IndyCar race is on at 1 on Sunday. I lied. Correct.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts this weekend with things that are right like on top of each other. Thankfully,
I think that one too.
Thankfully, I have unlimited DVR space now. So guess what, world? You can put all of them on at the same time. My DVR will record all of them. I don't give up. You can record all of them. But I mean, obviously, Joseph Newgarden's going to do better. Alex Palou, we all know it. Will Power and Scott Dixon can do. Like, yeah, the finishers.
Good.
Yeah, like,
I'm hoping.
Colton should do better than 22nd as long as he doesn't take himself out. He's good at that. No offense. Colton.
It happens.
There's one thing you know how to do. It's overdriving your car. You and maybe you need to make some kind of horrible career choice and say some kind of very bad word live for the whole world so you lose everything. Because that guy suddenly learned how to drive his car perfectly to the limit and not take himself out every 12 inches. Yeah. He figured it out, that Larson guy. He figured it out.
Off the wall an extra 6 inches now. That was the key. He just needed 6 more inches. I believe, if I remember correctly, I even remember at Michigan, a certain Brad Keselowski making that statement to Kyle Larson, stating, "You really should just stay off the wall. It's just a hair more, just a couple inches more."
Yeah, I mean, all joking aside, he'll do better. Yeah. And he's still so young. I mean, Kyle was in the game for longer than Colton has been, at the point where he was still just pushing it well beyond the limit, inexcusably
no excuse
past the limit. Like, he was inexcusable like every single time.
There was no excuse in his part because he had came from dirt racing long enough that he should have known it's a little bit different.
Shit, he was running in the
Cup Series asphalt
for a million years. He just, I mean, don't forget, this is also the same Kyle Larson that had to sit out for a race at Martinsville because he went down during an autograph signing because his dumbass wasn't drinking water and got himself dehydrated and had to miss a race from dehydration.
Yeah, remember that. Dehydration.
Like,
all right, before we get too far ahead of ourselves.
Come on, man.
Before we go much farther past IndyCar, don't forget about Formula One last weekend.
Well, I tried to get you to talk about it. You just kept going. I thought the race sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, for the top, the racing behind the leader, like, there was good racing back there, people trying to overtake each other. But I mean, literally, Max won by 16.5 seconds or something. I mean, the racing between the top 2 or 3 was absolutely abysmal. Past 4th, once you get to like 5th back, there was good racing. It's just, you actually had to get to, like.
Well, I mean, if my memory serves me correctly, when I look back on races I've watched in that series, I feel like Italy, they still race in Morocco, don't they? I believe Morocco was the other one. Those 2 tracks are very bland to me. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's the right way to describe it.
Just call it
That works.
There's no, it's just yeah, I mean, there was good racing around the track.
Yeah.
There was. It's just you had to look so far back to actually see the racing that was good. And no offense to Max, I mean, winning by a year and a half. If we were racing, I'd like to win by a year and a half too. Like, where I could pretty much stop for, you sit there and just wait like forever for someone to catch me. So that was, and there was a lot of, there's some bad luck and stuff that went into it, but I will say it sucks to be Carlos Sainz getting taken out like on lap 1, 2 straight races. Leclerc, he was up. I mean, I don't think he would have been in contention for it before he had his things, all that issue and had to pit, but I mean, really, he was just gone. But Russell,
I think it'd be a 3rd time getting taken out after this.
And look at Russell, though. I mean, Russell finished 4th, memory serves me, and then Lewis Hamilton teammate was only back at 14. So I don't know what in the hell. And granted, Russell, this is Russell's first year driving now with them, and this is Lewis's like millionth year driving for them. So
Right.
completely new car. I could see why maybe it's bothering him more than it's bothering Russell, because Russell wasn't driving them for years on end. But Lewis Hamilton has to figure that out, and nothing had to grind him worse than getting lapped on lap like 40 or 43, whatever it was, by Max. Like, that one had to piss him off. Both him and Toto admitted that they're out of the championship too. Championship? Like, it doesn't look good for them, but they're back next weekend, crypto.com Miami Grand Prix, and I'm very much looking forward to that. The track, at least the map that I just saw, like, if it's still that one, which I'm sure it is because it's street course. I mean, how much can they really change it? Yeah, when they're running around all that, but it looks really good. And again, it's growing here in the United States, which is I've been watching it for years, but I mean, they added a third track over here when they added Vegas for next year. I mean, that tells you, good things for it, at least there. And I think the racing will be a lot better going forward. I don't know. Like the first couple races, yeah, there are people racing each other here. Like that one was just, and again, it was kind of wet, kind of not.
It's the Miami course.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, I was looking at the track configuration. I have it.
Yeah,
I know it's from weeks ago.
It's beautiful, but it was kind of wet, kind of not wet. It was a weird weekend altogether for out there at Imola for the Emilia Romagna GP. You're welcome. I'm done speaking foreign languages for the rest of the day now. Yeah, I mean, qualifying, look how many red flags they had during qualifying, with people spinning out, wrecking out, blowing up, lighting on fire. Yeah, like, it was just a weird weekend altogether. But
yeah,
on to better things. I don't know. It's just depressing.
All right, on to better things. Before I go to USAC, I just want to give a shout out to Kyle Larson. He sat behind the wheel of a late model again, and lo and behold, he won.
Kyle Larson.
Just put it.
Kyle
just
Larson.
wanted to put that out there. I'm starting
Kyle
to believe
Larson
anything that touches dirt, he's probably just
It's Kyle Larson.
Race for a second.
Kyle Larson things. Okay, that's what Kyle Larson is doing. He's doing Kyle Larson things.
But anyways, I just wanted to put that out there. I didn't know if I
things that no one else knows how. Like, they're just sitting there looking at him, going, "Man,
it's not normal. There's no normality
like,
to that."
Kyle's here this weekend.
Well, I'm racing for a second.
Like, cool. Well, let's go home. Why?
Today for USAC, moving on, we have Bloomington Speedway in Indiana. That'll be a good race, and this is also, again, USAC 410 sprints. Tomorrow night in Ohio at Atomic Speedway. That'll be another good race. It's 410 series again. Yeah, it'll be good. I think we should watch. Brad Sweet, always good. Trying to get the other guy's name. It's Donnie something. Brain farting. My goodness. Anyways.
Well, in our defense, at least it is not even 9 o'clock in the morning. So
yeah, but I should know that stuff off the top of my head. I just got too much. Anyways,
I'm saying there's a lot of stuff going on in our heads right now for this time of day.
Yeah, this is like my most productive thought time. Anyways, we're moving on. USAC Silver Crown. We are racing Sunday night.
Canadians. Wow.
Terre Haute.
Wow. Natural mint flavor. They are not lying.
The race track they were at that Larson won at Eldora. Lo and behold, Eldora.
Hey, the only reason he didn't win that first truck race at Eldora when they went there was because of one thing and one thing only, and that was Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson is the reason that Kyle Larson did not win that first truck race when NASCAR went back to the dirt. That was on Kyle. Kyle just kept just being Kyle, and well, by the end of the race, he didn't have it. I mean, he pushed the cushion about one too many times that his truck finally was like, no, really, what? We're done.
He likes to push the cushion a lot in everything, to include
No, he didn't push the cushion. He
over
said,
cushion.
he said, "Damn it!" He just went, no. But anyway, yeah, Eldora, beautiful track. Hopefully, they get that figured out. I like the racing there. It's history.
Back to Terre Haute for Silver Crown. That'll be fun. I would not be shocked. Oh, wait a minute. No, he ain't gonna have time. Chase Briscoe will not be racing there. There's no way he wouldn't have time to race at Dover. There's no way he could get back to Terre Haute, Indiana in time to get to that race.
Yeah,
unless Tony's got a new jet I don't know about, which is
start time. Yeah, sadly,
he wouldn't even be able to qualify. Like he would literally get there at the beginning of the race at best. Absolute best.
Well, get in there, start. Yeah, it's like you're starting down a lap. That's fine,
right?
Makes it more interesting.
Definitely. The next series, moving on, ARCA from last weekend.
Yeah, that was a wreck fest. I felt bad for a bunch. But again, it's Talladega.
Well, we started with, hold on. I have the actual track laps and everything. We started with 33 cars in the field on the lead lap. We finished with
sure as hell didn't finish with that many.
Well, let's just say only 23 cars were functioning at the end of the race.
And that
ARCA Series cars.
And the definition of functioning varies.
I'm not saying they were intact 100%. I'm not saying there wasn't parts
flailing
doing that.
And that's why man invented duct tape. You ever wonder why? Just watch racing. Like you will see why man invented duct tape.
I do want to say this. I have to give a shout out to where is he? I want to make sure I get it right before I say it. I also know the owner.
Well, while you're looking for that, I'm going to say shout out to Tony Breidinger because she got taken out for a second time in the weekend without anything that she had to do with it. And she handled that better than most Cup guys can when they wreck themselves. She didn't get taken out once; she got taken out twice. So good
the
on her.
Owner that I wanted to give a shout out and congrats to for the ARCA Series was Venturini. They did good. Minus.
Hey, everyone went out of their way to make sure Corey Heim. Like I give our whole ARCA field that wasn't for Venturini. Good for you guys. Do not let him work. Don't let him up front. And everyone worked together, and he almost stole the damn thing. And now that you went there.
Also, speaking of Chevys, I wanted to point out last weekend, even though I'm a Ford guy, Chevy took 1-2 in all three race series at Talladega. 1-2 in all three series. Needed to get set.
And now that you brought up, I was trying not to bring up last weekend with the ARCA Series. How about, let's say there's 14 to go and NASCAR comes over the radio and says, whether it's checkered flag or the caution flag.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Next flag ends it. And then because they needed the Xfinity race to have time, which still finished with the sun way in the sky. And they still had over an hour of pre-race stuff that they showed on TV, which means they could have gave them 15 more minutes and let them finish that. And then would have had 2 segments of TV less worth of idiocy at the pre-race. Ooh.
What did a certain gentleman in a certain movie say about the NASCAR officials? I believe it's something along the lines of, I don't give a damn what the NASCAR administration or officials think. Yeah. I believe that was in Days of Thunder. I'm paraphrasing.
We all knew where it was coming from. One movie, believe a man, yeah. That's a Days of Thunder.
Anyways, whoever made that call,
good old Harry.
I promise you, when they got home that night, they were really, really, really regretting that call. It is no fan, nor team owner, nor driver's fault that they can't plan accordingly.
Or sponsors. It's hard enough for those guys
Oh yeah,
to get sponsors.
Sponsors. Let's back up. Sponsors of most. All the car sponsors, I'm just saying you guys should be slightly pissed off and mad at NASCAR and potentially revolt a little bit against it because they screwed you out of airtime and money.
Yeah, it's hard enough for ARCA Series guys to get, good sponsors.
Yeah.
I'm not
And then when they get sponsors that are reliable, they get shafted.
I thought that was the dumbest thing ever. And again, you still had all that pre-race. Like if we went through that many interview segments, you could have gotten 15
I would have
more.
rather seen that last 13 laps than to ever hear a word come out of Bubba Wallace's mouth.
I don't know if he talked.
I'm just going to leave it there. This is me. Sorry.
I don't want to hear, no offense to Regan Smith and interviewing Ty Gibbs to her the first time I've seen you at the track. Like no one cares. We know he's a spoiled rotten.
That's what I'm saying. I would have rather seen less interviews between the races and see the whole damn race.
Especially with how much with the airtime that the ARCA Series doesn't get, because this weekend they are running at Dover, which I love anything that runs on Dover. There's just something about the track. But they're running there, except it's on flow racing, which means it's not standard airtime. Yeah, but which again which is really the big one for me, especially because they don't get.
If there was any of them that need to be on local TV, like legit on like regular Fox or regular NBC, it is ARCA. It is the smaller seats. Give them the airtime that's a little bit easier to see for them and be exposed once in a while. I mean, come on. Is it really going to hurt? They're not running trucks this weekend. They're going to race tonight. You're telling me they couldn't have gave 2 hours of time off of Fox?
They couldn't have. They couldn't have not.
They could have ran on FS1, FS2.
Like, trust me, we see what they cover on that stuff. You guys.
Yeah. I love horse racing.
I
can't tennis.
Like, no offense.
I can't watch tennis. I can watch horse racing. I can get into that. I don't know many normal people that would sit down in front of a TV and look at tennis and go, woo!
I mean, maybe if McEnroe was still going, maybe if but America's Day at the Races. It's like we're literally watching. Like they even do repeats of horse racing. Like this was already on. You aired it. You're airing it again, and these guys can't get 5 minutes of airtime to save their lives. And you're wondering.
That's the other part that pisses me off. What about during the week?
Why is ARCA always struggling? And they're always struggling. Like ARCA Series struggling to get this. Well, maybe if you gave them more than like 10 minutes of airtime the whole season, people would know they existed and know the drivers and maybe go to the tracks so to see them when they actually know that it's happening instead of.
And even if you're not going to give them the race, give them a half-hour show once a week, or give them a something
like we used to have. What was that show with Robin Pembert with it was what, NASCAR Tonight or no? It was NASCAR something. They had a show that was back on ESPN way back, like in the 90s, that they killed. I'll think of it. Don't worry, it'll come to me. RPM Tonight.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they did that. And I think they just I don't know. They complained that, well, we don't have a lot of well, maybe if you actually gave them the time of day and treated them like they existed.
Right.
I don't want to see I don't want to see like go on there and see all the Fox Sports channels literally covering like a golfing tournament. Like I shouldn't scroll. I shouldn't scroll through
business.
Yeah.
Take off one of the selling shows and put it on there.
I shouldn't have to like go like this when I'm going through sports and see like 9 different channels covering the same exact thing. Like you could give people the time of day and make it better. And other news though, out of the ARCA Series, besides the fact that it's on Flow Racing this weekend, so my white ass can't watch it. Thanks for that one, NASCAR. Daniel Dye, indefinitely suspended. He gone.
Yeah.
3rd at Daytona, 2nd at Phoenix, and then at 17th at Dega. But anyone that watched the race last weekend, to say that there were cars ramping off of each other at one point. but indefinitely suspended after being arrested on Tuesday for felony battery charges down in Volusia County, Florida. That's a big one. And that's a
Yep.
big knock. I mean, thankfully he's still young, so I guess, you know, he has a chance to, get a second chance. More of that, obviously, more is going to come out. I didn't go looking into why he was, mauling somebody, but yeah, that sucks. That was a quick kick in the nuts. But
yeah, he'll feel that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, sucks for him, but you do the crime. Well, sorry, my friend. You know the phrase. You know the story. So there's the last thing there. And please, God, can we see more ARCA races not on like Flow Racing? Can you give them the time of day? But
yeah,
please, for the love of God, end a race early because of your piss poor planning.
They had a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars that had incidents of contact.
Your piss poor preparation.
Yeah.
That one pissed me off.
And then
really pissed me off. Truly, unequivocally.
There's something else I was going to tell you too.
Wonder why everyone wrecked that. And by the way, to make it even worse, that car went around and kept going straight, and you still threw the caution anyway. After he was already going back straight with no contact, no blowing anything, no car blowing apart, and you threw the caution and ended the race on that. That was a BS call. That was literally giving a middle finger to everybody because of your piss poor preparation. It's not our fault that you guys suck. That's all I'm going to say. Xfinity Series, moving on to a good thing. The Xfinity Series at Dover, always a good race. Last year's results, which should surprise no one. Cindric won. Shocker. But Josh Berry second. Allgaier was third, who I think is going to be good, this year again, just because it's Allgaier. AJ was fourth. Ty Gibbs fifth. Watch out. Harrison Burton sixth. Watch out. Michael Annett seventh, which I still don't understand how he lasted that long. Oh, wait. Pilot Flying J. That's the only reason why his career lasted that long. Ryan Sieg eighth. Hemrick was ninth. And Brandon Brown up in 10th last year. Again, good racing. Not a lot. There's nothing that really surprises me up there. Granted, now when you look at it, Cindric isn't there anymore. Harrison isn't there anymore. Michael Annett isn't there anymore. Like, so a lot of
don't count Jeffrey Earnhardt out this weekend.
Well, I never count him out. Sorry, sometimes I see who he's driving for, and then I don't count him out. I just don't count him. It hurts less. It's amazing how people there's some guys that have rides just because of who they are, but then Senior's grandson can't get a ride in any kind of real good equipment consistently. Like, he's Senior's grandson.
Speaking of Jeffrey Earnhardt,
was that nepotism?
I know you talked about Talladega for these two series on Monday, but I have to say, Jeffrey is good.
And you see that
I
last
hope, for the sake of NASCAR and Talladega, some people get their crap together and get him a decent ride.
Did you see that last lap? I hate to break it to y'all, from fifth or sixth, wherever he was, to second, if they actually would have been stacked up behind him and they weren't so all over the place, that could have ended differently. And no offense to Childress up there in the spotters stand. The moves that kid was making there, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have cleared him if you wanted to. He looked good. He looked real good. Good on Larry Mack. Good on Larry Mack too. And Austin Dillon for getting him to do it. So there you go. I say nicer things about Austin.
Well,
than I ever
they
could
said
about his brother.
I was reading an interview with Jeffrey, and he said that he goes, first things first. He says the best sponsor I've ever had is Forever Lawn. He says They have given me rides in the last year and a half that I couldn't get anywhere else. He says, I've tried for 10 years or more to get this ride in my grandfather's number, and it finally came together. He says, if it was not for forever long, this opportunity would not have happened.
Yeah, he got the sponsor. And again, I mean, they all gave a lot of credit to Austin
I
Dillon.
do not see Jeffrey walking from that sponsorship ever.
Hey, you got to find the right, and look at the guys that throughout the years that have found that, one sponsor that, was life altering, really. I mean,
good job, Goodrich. You lost Dale Sr., then you gave up the next best thing you could have ever had.
Yeah, but
good job.
It was a good.
I still have I have my chair. Side note, I still have my chair from Kevin Harvick's 29. So.
But the race was good for Jeffrey and everything he did.
I really do want him to get a ride, though. A good ride.
I have to give credit to Austin Dillon again, because they all gave, said that he's, the one that got the whole Larry Mack thing going. Granted, he had like a week and a half to get ready for it. Still came in second because you couldn't get anyone stacked up behind you to try to catch anyone for the lead.
I think everybody knew at that point, if anyone got behind Jeffrey, he won.
There was just that last lap, everyone was just too all over the place. I mean,
he needed that Dale wave.
And there was a lot of, idiots. There's a lot of idiocy happening there at the end. And it's Talladega. I mean, there's idiocy everywhere. People moving upside.
Was that Dega? He did that at? It was him and Mikey Waltrip.
No, it had to be Talladega.
Sterling Marley, get up here! Come on! These guys hanging out the window the whole time. I feel like that was Talladega.
Oh yeah, it had to be. But it was a good race.
Sorry, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
If Jeffrey could get in good equipment consistently, he's proven it when he gets in good equipment, the good old gravel trap that he is.
I kind of wonder why Dale Jr. hasn't given him a ride. Not necessarily give it to him, but why he hasn't. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like.
Well, it could also be.
Jr. could really benefit, but at the same time, I don't know if it's just that he doesn't want to have any form of conflict of interest. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that I was going to say, I think that's a big, maybe just Jeffrey wants to, go on his own and not.
Which is like, kudos on him. I'm not knocking
his,
it. I'm just saying
what his uncle gave him. Like maybe he's just trying to not be like everyone else. Not to mention any names, but I mean.
Yeah, we know who we're talking about.
There's a few ties that there's a few ties.
Yeah.
Except for one tie, at least, is doing something with his shot. The other one.
That is not a lie.
But yeah, if they can have rides, I don't understand how, but that's really what it has to come down to. Like there's no reason why he isn't driving for, and we never know. They could have actually had those conversations and he was like, yeah, no, bro. Like, it could have been something as simple as,
he didn't want.
They might have talked and been like, just like Junior. I mean, I don't see him being one to hold him and not do it. Maybe Jeffrey's like, no, but I'm gonna go at it and earn it. And so I think he deserves something much better than he gets. I think sooner or later, it has to happen, especially as he has a sponsor, that's they're good with him. But again, that could also be one of those, they can't afford to sponsor him for a whole full season, and then trying to find the rest of it could be, a problem.
Well, I think after last weekend, don't think sponsorship is going to be the issue.
Kyle Busch, look at him. They can't find a sponsor now that Mars is leaving and it's Kyle Busch. Like,
well, that's the other thing. He'll race a Toyota. He don't care. He's went out of his way to pay to race Toyotas just so he could continue racing every weekend. So his sponsors could sponsor a race every weekend.
I'm just saying, like, it's just, it could be, sponsorship thing. Like if Kyle's having a hard time, then, it could be harder and he's got championships, then, it might be one of those where Jeffrey's having a hard time to fill out a whole entire season. And
well, he admitted that. I mean, in that interview I was referring to, he admitted a lot of that stuff. He's like, I've just not had the right opportunity at the right times. He says, I've never been in a car that's of top caliber. He says, I don't know what that would be like. He says, this is the first time of anything like that.
It's just very honest. At least he's honest about it. There's a lot of guys that aren't, and he's very appreciative and grateful, which I think is going to get him very far. And again, the way the world is right now, it's just hard.
I just want to point out
it's hard to find
the
sponsorship.
first race he got into in an RCR car, Jeffrey provided better results than certain other people at races at that particular outfit.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that
I think I mean, even if, I don't know. I think he's still going to run. I'm not holding him to like win this weekend. I'd never, last weekend just had had the mojo going. Just there was one of those feelings. Yeah, there's one of those feelings. And he sure's proved us all right on that one. But I think he'll get there sooner or later. Again, it's just if big time guys are having a hard time finding sponsors, then like that tells you how hard it has to be for everybody. Because if Gibbs can't get them,
yeah, but some of these guys in the Xfinity Series, their stuff comes together a little bit easier than these bigger guys, because I really do feel like there's better relationships between the teams, the drivers together in comparison, the teams and drivers with the sponsors relationships are better in Xfinity than it is in the Cup Series. And don't forget certain people in the Cup Series.
There's the money side of it too, though, like the expense to run an Xfinity team as compared to running a Cup team. 1/4 or 1/5 of what it costs for a Cup. Which means it's easier to you put it for this much money. Why? Because with that amount of money, you can't even you could give us like one race in the Cup Series. Like, the cost side makes it much easier, I think, to find sponsors for down there, which is why
another record too last weekend. That would have turned damn near into a wreck fest. It was getting close.
But so I think that's the big problem. I mean, there's not really that many big ones like Monster who sponsors everyone under the sun. I mean, they got Ty Gibbs in a Toyota and Riley Herbst in a Ford. They don't care. They're sponsoring. Like, there's not too many big ones down there like that. There's very good, like Brandt for Justin Allgaier. I mean, there's people, they're super, super loyal. Bass Pro with, Gregson and Junior Motorsports and all that. Like, I just think, again, it's more cost effective. And it's probably easier to, get them to, to pay the young drivers to sit there like Ty Gibbs did last year at one point with 2 different flavored. He had one normal Monster, and then he had whatever that fruity one was. That, like, he had a Monster in each hand, which is terrifying. Hold them both. But sponsorship's easier down there again, just because the money. But I hope he gets something together, or maybe something opens up. Let's say at Colleague or something. I think that'd be a good opportunity just to see what he could really, really do if they got him into a Colleague car. Just who would they move to be able to get him up there? Because I think they're all. They all always perform. So, granted, they could make that second Cup team full time next year and have a solid one driver in there, and then that could open up a seat for someone. I think Jeffrey is more than deserving of it I think he's been much more deserving of it over a lot of people for a very long time. Can you believe my phone's ringer's been on that whole time and it hasn't gone off? That's amazing. But hopefully that opens up. I don't see anything opening up anywhere else for him per se. Colleague seems like it'd be the spot, because I don't think Junior.
I also wanted to point out last weekend's results for the Cup race. Harrison Burton did not finish better last weekend. The year before.
I don't count. I don't count plate tracks.
Well, I'm just saying I count everything that he's not doing as good as that. I'm just referring to that.
I don't count plate tracks. I don't.
Well, I was just going off and comparing their two background at that track.
Hey, don't care. Well, you could be running perfectly fine, and suddenly, kaboom! You're put into a wall. You don't even know what the hell just happened. You can get caught up way too easy in someone else's idiocy at a restrictor plate track for that to count. But if we go all the other races, he is violently underperforming. But I give him the benefit of the doubt on the plate tracks, because for the love of God, look how long it took Senior to get a Daytona 500, and look how many. for the love of God, what the Seagull happened one year, damn things. Does it still turn over? Yeah. And get it off the truck. And there, but anything that can go wrong will probably go wrong at plate tracks. But when we get to this weekend, as we're going to talk about, finishing, for the love of God.
I got one more thing I want to say about last weekend. One more thing. I also wanted to point out I just had it written right here. Where'd it go?
Cup race had a lot of dumb stuff too.
There it is. I
Lots
wanted to
of
point
stuff.
out Eric Jones again had another top 10 restrictor plate finish.
Yeah, and he's one of those. He's so he's always up there.
I want to give his credit was due.
At the end of these things, he's always up there. He's gonna get me
He's
sooner or later.
got the planning process of laps down.
It's just the last lap at Talladega. I mean, how many last lap passes or bad things have we seen happen at Talladega? Man, it's almost guaranteed something stupid is good. Just ask Bubba and Kurt. Go into the last lap, running good. Get to the trial on the last lap, not so good. Not so good at all.
What happened between Christopher Bell and Kyle Busch? Was there no communication between spotters? Like they didn't see each other or what?
No, I'm sorry. The color of the color of that car. No way in hell someone just
misses
it. Bye.
Neither car just blended in on that track. I was just slightly off on that. I wanted to point that out.
I was watching and going, no way you missed him.
And Ryan had to be
that had to be a fun meeting on Monday. What? Yeah. No way you didn't. What? No way you missed my bright yellow car halfway. No way.
Saying, neither one of those cars went on that track. So somebody, driver and or spotter, has to go do some explaining because it just did not add up for me. But you're telling me neither the spotters nor the drivers seen each other?
The weirdest thing is Kyle was trying to go around the slower car, which is way slower. I mean, I fully get that, so you don't lose the package. Why the hell did Christopher Bell think it was a good idea to try to then get under Kyle to pass him?
I don't think he was trying to pass him, but at the same time, when he came off the track,
where they came off together,
one of them two, as in Kyle Busch or the slower car on his right, should have let off and went behind into the outer lane, so the technical lanes on pit road were usable, because technically there was no open lane.
They were off of pit road. They were off.
Well, no, I know. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, coming off of pit road though, if there's only two lanes and there's three cars. There's not three lanes, so technically
that apron's 53 cars wide at Talladega. Dear
slow
guy.
I will say,
dear slow guy, what
else spotter? I would be down there asking the crew chief of that slower car, what were you thinking?
You think it's a good with fast?
And I'm not saying it because they're they have
that was an all around failure.
Who in points.
Yeah. You need to watch out for those guys if you're going to be running in the 30s the whole time. I'm sorry.
And I'm not down.
Here's a good idea. Accelerate off of pit road. No way in hell. No way in hell you guys were going the same. You all go the same speed limit up and down pit road. No way in hell.
Sorry,
Kyle shouldn't have got up to that much speed that fast compared to
Kevin. Wow. Kyle Busch and I don't remember who the slower car was now, but whoever it was, them two should have had that solved before Christopher Bell even came out of his pit box. So I would be questioning that too. What happened there?
I'm trying to figure out how. How did you guys? They all came off at the same speed. How the hell were you running that much slower than those two coming off of pit road once it was time to go? That you damn near got run over like that. Y'all got the same cars now. You don't have an excuse as to why they had a mile on you when it comes to acceleration off of pit road.
And your crew's
the hell out of the way.
A pit strategy to get you better track position. You better know what you're doing when you get that, because you can't just, here, I'm up here, but now I'm just going to hold. No, it don't work like that. This is
end of pit road means go.
Yeah.
Kyle shouldn't have that much acceleration speed trying to get around you coming. You guys get
Christopher
done.
Bell had more acceleration speed, and he was coming out of the box literally
Well,
40 feet before that came out of the box, and he had better acceleration.
Yeah, but he had the advantage of where his pit box was as compared to the end of pit road, so he could just launch and go. Everyone else was,
Well, no, I'm saying thanks to Christopher Bell, and I normally don't do that. If I was his spotter or crew chief, I would have been down there at Slower Cars crew chief's box and been like, hey, explain to me why you felt the need to just figure out with Kyle Busch that neither one of you were going to take the lane. Why?
In Kyle's defense, to me, he was trying to make.
But those two, Kyle and Christopher Bell, though, they were running a better pace on the racetrack. They were actually contending for a potential race win. I understand them to compete.
My theory is, why not accelerate off the pit road?
Period.
Like no one should have that much extra speed than you, especially when Kyle
Daniel Suarez does questionable stuff, and he gets it. Pablo Montoya got it to the degree of even hitting a track dryer. Come on, man.
But
making him look good.
Like Bell had the acceleration just because, again, where his pit box was, so he could just shoot off of it.
When you got guys contending, you got to be coherent.
I don't give a shit what I don't give a damn what it is. That guy, Kyle, shouldn't have been going that much faster than you. That fast. What you get off the pit road? Guess what? You wanted the same motors. You wanted the same tree. You wanted all the same stuff. Use it. Right. Guess what? Now you guys have no excuse to be running that far back because everyone's running the same stuff.
It was.
That was just, again, at least Kevin got a 10th out of it. Bubba ate a wall. I felt bad. And Bubba ran a good race. We normally say bad things about Bubba.
Kevin actually got points this weekend.
Now, did Bubba cause the big one? Yeah. Yes, he most certainly did send dude into the wall and barely touched him. Well, believe it or not, when your wheel is going to the left, as you're coming out of the tri-oval, because of the way the air is.
I'll tell you right now, he's lucky I wasn't in the race, because I would have returned the favor. Whether I was contending or not anymore.
Took out 7 cars. And I will, whoever it was later on in the race, took his own teammate out, bumping him in the same spot. Again, it's just that part of the racetrack because of how the air is. Yeah, that spot causes idiocy. But Bubba does look. Ty Dillon, he actually had, a good race going to. And I normally talk so much trash about them. So,
It's another thing. Kurt Busch, Bubba's lucky that Kurt Busch is an older Kurt Busch.
No, Kurt Busch would have punched him in the face.
All I'm gonna put out there about that.
But that was just so much, I don't know. But minus the big one, that there was a lot of good racing across the board, so I can't be too, upset about it. Let's say, because it was good racing. There was good. No matter what, there was good racing. Minus, and they didn't follow the leader a lot, which I was like, please God. Oh look, they're Thank God I watched it later because I was busy. They're like, oh, follow the leader. Fast forward.
Actually, hold up.
Fast forward. Fast forward. Oh, look, they're side by side.
I just want to say this weekend, look out for Josh Berry for the Xfinity race.
No,
I forgot to say that before I forget.
Well, he's on my list. I got Barry Allgaier, the Dinger, and Ty Gibbs on my, and Gregson too. Put him up there, just because it's his style. I'd say he just.
Gregson and Barry will be good this weekend.
Yeah, Justin Allgaier, one of his better tracks, so he's going to be better. I'm really looking forward to it. Again, it's Dover though. There's certain people that they just get it, and
hey, last year at this track, just a side note, in the Xfinity Series, Harrison Burton finished
sixth. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry. I went over that.
That's this year.
I went over that earlier. Don't worry. Way ahead of you. You did good.
Wanted to highlight
different car, different team. But last year when the Cup Series ran here, some interesting numbers there. I mean, Hendrick got the top 4. All 4 of them finished up there, which doesn't happen very often. Bowman won, Larson was second, Chase was third, William Byron fourth, and then Logano fifth, Harvick ran sixth, which I didn't even remember. Just again, he had such a bad off year.
That was one of the very few races he got a top 20.
Hamlin was seventh, Reddick was eighth, Suarez was ninth, Cole was 10th, Bubba finished 11th, Ross Chastain 14th, which I think he's going to be way better this year. Just equipment wise, no offense to Ganassi, but they were good. They just were nowhere near up to snuff last year. Briscoe finished 35th, which I think is, unless something stupid happens, that number is going to exponentially go in a positive direction. And then Harrison Burton does not have hard to shoot to beat Maddie from last. Maddie finished 24th, but it's an easy number.
Well, he got in a wreck, if I remember correctly, from last year.
24th. What? All you have to do is finish 24th or better. That's all
feel
we're
like-
asking.
If I remember correctly, he was involved with that.
I'm a miserable prick, but I'm going to call him out every single time. Matty D finished 24th, which means, ergo, you have great opportunity to improve that number. Great opportunity. But my guys to watch this week, and I'm picking Ross again just because he's on fire. Larson just because of where it is, and that just suits his style. I'd like to say Harvick again, but we'll see. It's Tyler Reddick, hopefully another bounce back, and then Chase Briscoe again. He's on, but last year's circumstances, as long as nothing stupid happens and the way the cars are running for him this year, I don't see 35th being anywhere near where he's gonna finish.
I say watch Kevin, watch Kyle Larson, watch Chase Briscoe. I'm not going to count Kyle and Kurt just because
they're always there.
Well, it's Kyle and Kurt.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it there.
Tyler Reddick should be good. It's just big old aggressive track. Like he knows how to run those. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think it would be nice to see, Kevin up there, but again, the way he's been running, you never know. Hamlin should be good there, but again, with the way they've been running, they're like Haley Deegan right now. No matter what they do, something stupid happens.
I want to point out 263 laps last year were led by Kyle Larson.
Yeah, and then he didn't get it at the end, which is, why so people like Hamlin have said such beautiful, nice words about Alex Bowman. As Kyle led the whole entire damn race, and then Bowman stole it at the end. Yeah. Hey, a win's a win. I'd take it. But that's why we get to hear beautiful things like that come out of their mouths. But Hendrick had it. I really want to see the big one after last weekend's race is how good does the ECR, what did the ECR engine shop do after they lost 4 or 5 motors last weekend at Talladega? I mean, Reddick went down.
That's what I was going to say. They had, so I actually had that information.
Yeah, I have it wrote down in my 19-inch thick binder. I remember when this thing had 2 pieces of paper in it. Now the times have changed.
Let's see here. Tyler Reddick went out with an engine. And then Daniel Hemrick don't count because he was in a crash. Greg Biffle went down with a fuel pump problem.
Yeah, they just
Daniel Suarez kept having problems. He ended up just not being able to finish. He got a DVP. Cole Custer's Ford, but he went out with an engine. Cody Ware, I'm not sure what happened to him, but can't remember.
Yeah, they had at least 3 motors go out, and then they had a bunch of just it was just a bad
but
week.
GM, I would be questioning on the Chevy side of it if there's a potential problem coming up on a Talladega or on a super speedway for them, because engines and fuel pumps, I mean, not good.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. And, again, that was a big problem that they had. I just want to see if they fix it. Granted, it's not as sustained, you're just as hard as you can go all the time at Dover. So there'll be less abuse from that. But there's a lot more movement involved with this because you're going, up and down all the time. But have that many, that was just weird to see that. I didn't like it. Again, we figured out, the tire thing. Now we got to figure out all of that. And to close it all out from last weekend, because I had to go through to look at all those motors. There was at least 3 that they lost. Can someone in the sports world, or anyone that listens to this, please tell Mike Joy it would be great if he stopped making excuses every single time moron did something moronic and causes, let's say, a 7-car pileup, for instance. Well, they all had to check up to let William Byron try to get down in front of his teammate. Like, dude, there was like 6 car lengths in between them. Like, Byron was way the hell out there.
Yeah.
And guess what? If the bottom lane would be the one to check up to let him in, because he's like, they would have to slow down to let him down, not the line behind him slow. Like, they should be hitting him to get him farther up there so he can go over in all aspects if we're doing anything that makes, like, they were checking up to let Byron get down. Like, they checked up to let him get, they could just, he goes forward, he cuts down everyone. Like, please stop making idiotic excuses when he does dumb things. Guess what? Dumb people, dumb things, especially at Talladega and Daytona. It doesn't take a lot. Everybody slips. Sooner or later, everyone causes, wrecks without trying to. It's just
stupid choices cause stupid consequences.
It's just, and it's a plate race. Guess what? Bad things happen at plate races all the time for people that really, really know what they're doing there have caused chaos. So just
how many races that a super speedway has Kevin been taken out? I can assure you, he knows what he's doing.
How many times have we seen Boyer still barrel rolling, or Elliott Sadler at one point while he's still in the Cup Series going, man, I'd just like to finish one of these on all 4. Yeah, I mean, like, it happens all the time. You do not have to make excuses. Oh, they're checking up to let William Byron down.
Sure, that's exactly how it didn't happen, Mike.
I saw the gap. No. So can we stop doing that? Just like, earlier this year, like, when Bubba was running, he was back there because of a speeding penalty got him back there. It's like, bro, he was 25th all day. What? He was already back there. It's not like that penalty put him back. What? He was already running it deep 20s.
I don't
27th at the time.
Being there.
And we stop making excuses for him. I know you want him to be like the golden. Could we just hold him accountable for when he does bad things, and when give him praise when he does good things? I call him out for when he does stupid things, but guess what? There I was saying he was running good. Then we did the Bristol Dirt. Guess what? He was doing good in practice and all of that. What he was actually up there doing good, or wherever the hell it was. Like, I let you know when he does good things, but when he does bad, please stop making excuses for him, because that's why people like me make sure we call out every stupid thing he does, because you guys, holy balls, you guys make more excuses than anyone. Like, I have an ex-wife. They make more excuses for Bubba than she
you're gonna pick a driver to make that many excuses for, at least pick somebody that has more ability. I think that's the way I want to word that.
Give up as
I don't know. That may not be the way to word that, actually. But that's how
but yeah, please stop doing it. I'm not trying to be a dick. I know I'm meaner to Harrison Burton and Ty Dillon than I ever could be to Bubba. Because Bubba, at least.
Oh, no. You and I heart pretty bad on Dillon's.
Yeah,
not so much Austin as much as
I
Ty,
say nice things about Austin. I say really nice things about Austin. It's not my fault. Ty Dillon has a teammate that's outrunning him by a mile every weekend. Normally, if nothing stupid happens, minus 2 races where he just Ty's always been bad. He's been the less talented of them, and he's holding up a ride that I think there's a lot more people that are way more deserving of that ride than him.
Well, yeah, I agree with that 100%.
That's my big problem with Ty Dillon. It was the same thing with Michael Annett there. Can't say just because of I never understood if he didn't have Pilot Flying J that man would have been out of NASCAR a very long time ago, because look at everyone and drove that car besides him. Fill-ins, driving it now. What they're actually up there running competitively. Michael Annett, okay, well, he's probably around 12th or something. If he didn't have the sponsor, he wouldn't have been there. Just like Paul Menard. He didn't have Menards. His ass would have been sent back in a very, very long time.
For sure.
So that's my problem with Ty Dillon. There's, because of who he is really why he's getting it, because it has nothing to do with results, because he's never given anyone results. Oh, the plate tracks. Congratulations. There's lots of people that can't run anything else. The plate tracks are the great equalizer. Everyone's up there. Like, you can go from like 10th to 1st in 2 laps and know
what you're doing and watch the air.
But if you look at the rest of it, I mean, look what Casey Mears did in the 13, and well, look what Ty did in the 13, and where the 13 is now. Oh wait,
it isn't.
Sorry, didn't he fill in for like the 96 or 95, whatever that was, for like
Ty Dillon?
Yeah, look where that is now.
2 seasons, I think. And a 95.
Look where it is now. Oh wait.
The only one that's not good in a long time was Matty D.
I can tell you where that car is. Oh wait, it isn't. Wasn't Casey Kane drove in it too? Before he had to stop because he had that because he had that health thing. Like, he drove in there for a few races, but had to back out at the end. Because if he had whatever was wrong with him and he was getting severely dehydrated at the end.
Now that I think about it, I think you might be right.
Either way,
but towards the end, Casey was having health issues.
Yeah, he was having that, no matter how much fluid he put in his body, he was still just, he was having all kinds of issues there. But regardless, Casey was actually doing good. Matty D did good, and that car was really, that's no fault of their own. I mean, look how many different drivers were thrown in there. That was like the grooming. I hate using the word grooming, but that was where they groomed a lot.
Training.
Yeah.
Training team. There you go. That was one of the training teams.
That's where Gibbs just threw someone in there. Here, what? Yay, it's way too early. You're going to come here. And it's just, they did that a lot. But I give Ty credit when he gets credit. I give Bubba credit. Tell them to drive better. They have teammates, same equipment. Literally, now there's no excuse. It is the same equipment, because NASCAR gives you everything. Please enlighten pretty much everything. You have no excuse now to be running 15 spots behind your teammate now. Sorry, not sorry. If you're an old, salty, crusty dude, trying to figure out all this new technology, I get it. But
something else too, I wouldn't mind seeing get better this year, and I think they have the best opportunity this year to do it. BJ McLeod. I'm hoping for good things for his outfit this year, because he got the Stewart-Haas alliance. Things can actually pan out nice. Somebody that actually has good, true engine knowledge. And then he's got guys he can deal with too, like Rodney Childers.
I do feel bad for him, though.
He got robbed.
In the Xfinity side? Was it the Xfinity side? No, it's the Cup side.
No, it was Cup last weekend.
Yeah, when he lost. So, for a team like that to lose crew chief, 3 crew members, there's no matter who they're aligned with, they're still a small team. So for them to lose,
struggle financially.
For them to lose 3 or 4 guys for a while there.
Now, if I was involved and I was somebody like Tony Stewart, I'd be like,
thankfully, thankfully, with the alliance, I'm Stewart-Haas, Riley's crew. Yes, I don't even know if he.
Well, I'm not saying.
I'm saying they have. I'm saying they have guys. They have guys that they could give him to, get him through losing all those crew members.
I'm sure between Stewart-Haas and who's the other one down there?
I'm sure though they have the guys that they can, fill in for the people that he's losing. But again, that's my big worry though. It's just because even if they are aligned with Stewart-Haas now, they're still a very small team, no matter how you want to look at it.
Yeah, they are.
Especially, point penalties and all that. Like that's like a death shot to them. So hopefully they get through the couple weeks. And again, I know Ford and, Tony and all them.
Teague and Gase. That's the other two teams I was thinking of.
Yeah, but
I mean, those teams, dude, they can't afford shit like that.
Yeah. So it's hopefully it works out good for him. I'll just leave it at that. I'm sure Tony and them are doing
Wish
something.
Tony would just take over the Ford Performance program. I really do.
If only. But I do have great faith that he's helping out, BJ.
Oh, I mean,
all the people that he lost. Like, if it was other small teams, I'd be more worried. I mean, granted, he's still a smaller team, but he does have Tony. And I mean, Tony will do him.
He's
right.
getting his stuff together. For a guy to go from 2 years ago to what he had then to what he has right now and the ability he has now versus 2 years ago, I think he's doing really good.
Yeah, he did it. I mean, he did it the hard way. And
him and Chase Briscoe both.
Yeah, they did it good. So I have great faith in it, but we can't go without saying that penalty sucked. But I think it's fair. I mean, think about if he wasn't all by himself when he lost that tire. Say he was up there in the pack and that thing came out. That would have been Destructo Derby for.
Well, I'll be honest. If I was in BJ McLeod's position, I would really have to debate. Okay, even if that was that guy's first screw up, we don't have 5 lug nuts no more. We have 1. You really should probably be making sure you got that some bitch the first time.
Yeah. And again, I appreciate. I mean, I get the penalty for that.
So I mean, I guess that's what I was gonna say with that is if I was in BJ's shoes, I'd be like, okay, first of all, NASCAR, I'm slightly pissed at you for changing to the 1 lug nut situation, and I'm gonna leave that there. And then I would turn to the tire guy and I'd be like, look, you got some damn good explaining to do. Otherwise, you ain't gonna have a job in about 30 minutes.
Yeah. And again, I'm not mad at
and I'd leave it there. That's how I would take it because he can't afford not to.
Yeah, the NASCAR penalty, like again, with them making it that severe, like I do get it. It's damn thing's gonna be on, or you guys are out of here. Like, and I fully get that because of how catastrophic that could have been if he wasn't all by himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like for BJ,
danger wise,
it's screwed over.
Yeah.
On NASCAR's end of it, I think they should take 10 or 20% of the fault in this situation because they shouldn't have switched from 5 lugs to 1 lug. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I think
we've done this before.
Not going to get into.
All I'm going to say, we've done this before and we stopped for a reason. And yet we're back to doing it again. And oh, wait, now you try to make the wheels safer. And lo and behold, look at Brad Keselowski. Boom. Start the season screwed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in his defense,
looked into that. All he did was machine the wheel so it was a better fit.
Yeah, but hey, not allowed to touch anything. Rules are the rules.
Hard to do a better job.
Brad and them were the ones, asking, to make it a stiffer penalty so people didn't want to cheat at all. Well, then you turn around and
But is that cheating? I mean, it's not like he did not lose weight. He just repositioned the weight. He made it so the wheel sat better and was safer so it didn't come off because he even said we changed that on purpose because we went from 5 lugs to 1 lug. He gave the justification behind the machining change behind that. That shit was talked about. It was brought up.
I still love that he denied it and appealed it. Like, yeah, well, we did it though. We didn't do it. Appeal. What's your appeal? Yeah, we did it. But here's why we did it.
But his appeal was the fact that, yeah, we did do it, but we didn't do it in a cheating manner. It was the fact that right now, when you stick them wheels on it the way they are from how NASCAR wants to give them to you, it reminds me of those JB wheels you can buy at Discount Tire. There's like 2 patterns and good luck getting the right one the first time.
Never been in the Discount Tire.
I'm just putting that out there.
Never been into a Discount Tire, but we do have one on Western Boulevard now, right up front of Home Depot, next to the Sonic. They somehow managed to fit a Discount Tire in like the 9 feet of space they had there. Don't ask me
Good.
how, but we have one now. So maybe one day I can go in there just to go, wow, and then turn around and leave. But
make sure you look for the JB wheels with the 2 different bolt patterns. You'll see it.
They need to, there's a lot of stuff they need to work on, but I mean, rules.
I'm sorry. One thing I can honestly change over. I'm even okay with the rear wheel independent suspension. I'm not okay with changing to 1 lug nut. I'm sorry. I'm not okay with it, because if we had 5 lug nuts, that would not have happened. Period.
Yeah. No way. No, you're shaking 5 of them loose. If you get one that's not fully on there, you still got others to hold it on. It's not just.
That's why I say that's not all on BJ. I will put fault on NASCAR for part of that.
And because there's big teams that have had problems with it too.
And I'm not even asking for a change in, like, I'm not even asking for leniency from NASCAR to BJ. I'm just simply saying they need to come out and publicly say we do have some fault in this. We should put that out there.
Should be adults, but it's NASCAR and look who's running it. So adults that left the building a long time ago. Long time ago. The men have left the sport. The cowtailing idiots.
And the few that are left, they're on leashes, quite literally.
They don't like to leave the race shops, let's say, because they get in trouble. Occasionally, they throw them in the broadcast booth.
Well, you never notice. You notice, like, very seldom do you see Kevin Harvick in the booth like that. Like, you don't see that. Well, there's a reason, because his mouth.
Yeah, but
there's no filters.
They could put Tony in there. I'm pretty sure they could put just about anybody in there. You know, Tony will just.
Well, Tony and Kurt, though, have changed. I got to give them credit. You have to admit that they have changed
Kurt's
way more.
Kevin's grown up.
Than
he
Kevin's
does
anger has changed.
Yeah, he does broadcasts. His anger's changed. He decided to slam a helmet off the roof of his car instead of slamming it into Chase Elliott's face.
That's why I said he's changed, just
He's
not quite as well rounded off that way.
I just think they need to do better. Again, there's just and the lack of parts. Like, to be able to get parts, NASCAR they need to get that stuff better, because you knew you were switching to this.
I can't make a comment on that topic, because there's a couple questions I would have to know the answer to before I make statements on that topic.
All I'm gonna say,
one is material.
Sure,
I have a completely different conversation I could have on why that is, but if it's not the material side of it, if it's not literally they can't get materials, I 100% put it on NASCAR.
And I think
leave it
they should.
There. I'm saying if there's no material acquirement issues, I 100 put on NASCAR. But that's what I have to say, though, because of metals. I don't know about other places, but I know certain metals are getting really expensive and really hard to get really fast in our area. It's happening already. I have a feeling soon plastics will be the same way for our area. We have a lot of plastic and metal machining here. Just putting that out there. But with that being said, if it's not a metal acquisition issue,
I just say, like, they knew it was coming, and why didn't you test more? Like, I'm sorry.
Well, that's why I said I need to know.
You should have had. I don't care. Regardless, they had cars that they were showing people. They should have had them every damn track.
Like, well, how long have they been testing this car? It's 2 years, right?
Like, I don't know why. Like, especially during COVID.
I mean, they've been testing for 2 years, I thought, on this particular car. And if I remember correctly, and that's true, with that being said, they should have no reason why they knew they were going to do their own parts. Why didn't you start machining a little bit more 2 years ago?
Again, and I get if there's stuff that's made overseas, it's probably sitting in a box, floating outside of a port somewhere. It's just going.
Well, I hate to be rude.
That's for another. That's for another show.
Very, very single and narrow-minded, but it's NASCAR. I don't feel like anything made for NASCAR should be made outside the United States.
Well,
that's just my personal
that could
opinion.
be it. that could be it. I don't know. I'm just saying that could be the problem. I don't know enough about it. I just know they were doing this car for this long, and we shouldn't be having any problems.
Well, that's why I said there's some
little
questions that need to be
little
answered.
problems. I see little problems. Little problems come out all the time with stuff, no matter how good you have tire things and this that. Like it's just like you guys had all the time in the world. Suddenly we're having aero push. We're having short track races where people are using aero to make it so other cars can't get around them. When the hell did that ever happen on a short track ever? I mean, there are people winning, missing bumpers, fenders. Like, you know, that shouldn't.
Well,
be
there were still a few guys that didn't care about aero. They just shoved that
should have.
bumper.
Yeah, but there are some guys that said they physically could not get to people because.
Well, yeah, who was it that kept getting to the back of
Denny? Denny was like, "What? I just used it. What? I aero blocked."
And that kept getting to the back, and then it was like he says, "I literally can't do."
Right. Denny was trying. No, Denny saved himself from getting lapped because but I aero blocked him. What? I just knew what with the way the air is on this car. I made sure I ran right where there was just a cushion and you couldn't physically get there. Well, we should not be having aero. It should not have aerodynamic anything.
The conversation I was thinking of, it wasn't Denny. It was Tyler Reddick when he was in second.
Oh yeah, like we shouldn't have.
He goes, dude, I get to the back of him and I can't do anything. I can't go around top, bottom.
That should not be a short track thing. Like they should have known that. It shouldn't be that race sucked. You should have been testing the whole time. Sorry.
Well, I think NASCAR needs to get questioned on all of the aero stuff because
what have you been doing?
Well, like you said, I should never go to a track that's less than 1.5 miles and have aero become a key factor.
Especially in Martinsville.
I should be able to shove my bumper up your rear bumper and push you around the racetrack the whole race if I want to. Aero should not be an issue.
So, like, it's just bad, but I think we should just leave it there before we start getting angry. Yeah, but it'll be a good weekend. Hopefully, I mean, again, it's a mile track, so we'll see how dumb it gets.
I will say though, this is a track that Kevin does like, so I'm really hoping for positive results for Stewart Haas this week.
Yep.
Putting that out there.
Will.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. No, I'm gonna say it. After last weekend, let's go, Jeffrey. Let's go. I'm gonna say it. Let's see what you can do on a short track. Get physical, get pushy. Do it.
Punch someone in the face.
You know what? You need a career change. Just start showing. Just be like your grandpa. Just be an asshole. Up here, show. I want to win. Get out of my way.
But
sorry, I just had to put that out there.
Most random conversation we've had yet, but I think it'll be good. We'll see. I don't know. Depends on how the aero package and all this new stuff works. So we had no idea. Well, you should. It's your car. It's your baby. You put all this work into it and you don't even cool. But thank you for watching and listening again. YouTube and Rumble is where the videos go. I also share them on the Facebook. I'm gonna start putting them on the Twitter just so I can watch people's heads continue to explode because it just makes me smile watching everyone completely lose their mind. Audio.
And what is it? This is I know on that. You don't take it till when?
Oh, it has to
November.
Be done by, I think it has to be done by October 24th.
Yeah,
that's the deadline.
And it's already changed that much on Twitter. Just putting that out
like
there.
10 seconds. Like the second he announced it, suddenly like
everything changed.
Yeah, I'm like, holy balls, just the stuff that's on there now. Like I wasn't on there for years. I was like, okay, that one's new. But yeah, in the video, but audio's on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. I put it on Good Pods. Everyone that watches on Good Pods, thanks, because I see the numbers. I appreciate that. And again, follow along on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. Listen there. If you don't see it on Good Pods, you get to listen. I can keep track of it easier than sponsor sees it. Makes everything good, but keep listening, keep sharing it out. It helps immensely. Enjoy the weekend. I think the racing should be better, and I really like the track they got for Supercross this weekend. I think it's going to be much different racing than last weekend. And I think Eli Tomac's going to finally lock it up so we don't have to worry anymore unless something stupid happens. But
remember what I said, all he has to do is finish on both tires and don't put out at all.
So
that's all you got to do. Don't even win. Just finish on both tires. Everything will be great.
So I'll be back on Monday. He'll be back on Friday. Have a good weekend. Be good to each other. Try not to hurt your heads or throw anything at the TV. The stupid's going to happen because it's Dover.
Yep.
And until Monday, peace.
Peace.